this hunter.
Welcome back to the fannISh podcast, or if you're new here, welcome to episode 5, Horror Films and Monsters. Recently, it was drawn to my attention that I am, in fact, a fan of horror movies. I resisted this characterization because when I think of horror movie fans, I admit that I immediately think of people with ghost face tattoos, Chucky shower curtains, and Freddy Krueger welcome mats, people who love slasher films like Friday the 13th and classic gore fests like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or even torture porn like Hostel or Saw. And you know what? Maybe you're watching this and you're a fan of those films, and no judgment, but my tastes run more toward the creepy, the uncanny, the upsetting, disturbing, unexplained, and supernatural. For many years, my favorite film of all time has been Rosemary's Baby. So you'd think I would know I was a horror movie fan, but Rosemary's Baby, while definitely a horror film, is a weird one by modern standards. It only contains a few explicitly violent images, and those are not what you call graphically violent. The film is scary because of what is suggested, what is portended, and what is ultimately imagined by the viewer with the protagonist. So after it was pointed out to me by my partner, who decidedly does not like horror movies and who needed 2 weeks to mentally prepare to go see Obsession with me, after he pointed out that I am in fact a horror fan, I started thinking about not only the movies I like the most, but the ones that really stick with me. Films like Hereditary, which I'll never see again, but which remains the scariest film I've ever seen. Films like The Omen, The Shining, The Exorcist, Midsommar, Lake Mungo, and yes, Obsession. They seem to get at what they're saying more cleanly by using fear to open up the channel between the art of the filmmaker and the attention of the viewer. Perhaps a much more accessible and wide open channel than other genres through which meaning can flow. That's how it seems to me anyway. So I accepted, somewhat reluctantly, that I'm a horror fan and started reading a bit about horror films. I'll post some of the titles I perused or completed in the description box, many of which you may have heard of. The Dread of Difference is a famous one, as well as Carol J. Clover's classic work on gender in horror cinema, Men, Women, and Chainsaws, which looks at the genre through the lens of feminist theory. But the book that really captured my attention was Scream With Me by Eleanor Johnson, a popular and not academic work by an English professor at Columbia who noticed while teaching Rosemary's Baby that the so-called domestic horrors of the 60s and 70s were intimately and inextricably bound up with the politics of women's rights in America at the time. So I invited 2 of my colleagues here at the old School of Interdisciplinary Studies to join me in a chat about horror films, horror fandom, and specifically the concept of the monster. Now, I chose this subtopic in case we needed to narrow our discussion, since the topic of horror movies is quite a broad one. I also chose it because my colleagues, Drs. Kyle Hammonds and Lance Lusk, both assistant professors here in our school, are big fans of the universal monsters. Think Frankenstein, Wolfman, Dracula, etc. The classic monsters you think of when I say movie monsters. Now, I am not the biggest fan of these films, so I thought discussing what and who is a monster, what does it mean to be a monster, and why do they have so many fans, might make for a lively discussion. And I was right. I love being right. So the conversation that follows is a panel discussion between me, the good doctors, and our illustrious producer, Shania Anderson, who pops in from time to time to share her insights. We talk about everything from which monster would make the best roommate, whether Jaws is a monster movie, who is the monster in Obsession, and by the way, there might be some mild spoilers to follow for that one, so tread carefully, and we wrap things up by putting Lance on the spot with the old fannISh 5. Lastly, I'd like to mention that we went a little long on this one, so we will have a part 2 coming. If you feel the conversation cuts off while you were really enjoying yourself, don't worry, we will have that second part coming up shortly. Before I go, we would greatly appreciate it if you'd click the like and subscribe buttons. It supports our efforts here, and subscribing makes sure you'll be reminded of future videos on all sorts of fandoms, genres, and subcultures. And hey, if you know a horror fan, why not send them this video? Once again, the books and articles we mentioned will be listed in the description box below. Don't forget, you can also find us on Spotify if you prefer to listen to the audio version on the go. With all that said, thank you for watching. Let's go right to our conversation with Dr. Kyle Hammonds and Dr. Lance Lusk on horror films and monsters. To episode 5 of the fannISh podcast. Today we have a panel. We have 2 guests, and so we are sitting here with Kyle Hammonds and Lance Lusk, and they are both assistant professors of instruction here at the School of Interdisciplinary Studies. They have a lot of experience with film and with horror film and with popular culture and with fan studies. They think about these things, they write about these things, and they teach about these things. So it's going to be a very lively conversation today as we talk about horror films. We're going to talk about fandom, and we're going to talk about a subject that we all are interested in, which is monsters. Monsters in horror movies. What is a monster? Who qualifies, who doesn't? And with that, let's get started. I want to start by saying, broadly, that ever since I was a kid, people have talked about horror movies as if they're something that only a few people like, and they're kind of down market. And yet here we are, and we're sitting here, and a horror movie is one of the biggest films in America right now, and we're doing numbers, right? So we'll start with you, Lance. Why do horror movies endure? Why are they still here?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. And it goes back, I think, even to ancient drama of feeling these emotions in a place where you're safe, but you still get to sort of almost sympathetically experiencing fear, anxiety, just heightened emotions. And there's something about that, being able to especially watch it in a live theater situation with movies in a packed theater. Not that you can't watch them on your own, but there's something about that experience and being drawn to those heightened emotions. But that's just an overall basic answer. Drawn to monsters or horror movies is maybe also something about touching that dark part of ourselves, or tapping into that. Not just fears about being a victim, but of becoming monsters ourselves.
Ooh. What do you think?
My gut reaction was similar that having the kind of we all feel things like fear and anxiety anyway, so having that controlled space where it's like our choice to experience it and to experience it in a way that makes sense to us or that resonates with us. The sympathetic watching that Lance mentioned was the first thing that came to mind. But horror has had different degrees of popularity, right, over time, and so different periods of time may have higher anxiety. So people are trying to deal with those emotions or process those emotions in different ways. And right now, I think of the probably many contributing reasons why horror would be popular includes this idea that we're kind of shifting from the most popular genre being the action movies and the superhero blockbusters, which are all about these sort of salvic myths, that we have these big picture stories in which there are individuals who are special and unique, and these people can save us from all of our social problems and societal ills. And in real life, outside of comics and movies and games, that's not really happening, right? We just experience the world crumbling around us with economic crises and pandemics and all of this other stuff that's happening around us, global warming. Economy, yeah. War. And what do we as individual people do about any of that, right? A lot of what I do, hopefully there's other ways we can get involved, but a lot of what I do is sit and feel anxious about it, So horror helps us to draw these feelings to the forefront and I think experience them, and sometimes through that experience we have a sense of catharsis as well. I don't feel as upset right now because I put myself, say, in a theater situation where I had this heightened anxiety and I felt it in my body. And then by the end, everything was resolved and I had this deep breath out and I feel better about what's happening in my life right now.
Exactly. It's over. You take your date to Applebee's. And you're fine.
That's right. Yeah. And the horror begins again.
Exactly. So I want to ask, I assume that both of you consider yourselves horror fans because you're here. So I want to ask
Right.
both of you, what is the film whoever wants to go first, that made you a horror fan, if you can pinpoint it. And while you guys are thinking, then I'll start.
Okay. Great.
Ironically, it is a film that I actually consider extremely overrated,
Oh no.
and I don't think it's good. But Nightmare on Elm Street. When I was
Yeah,
5,
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
it came out on video, and my dad and my stepmom rented it. And my dad was like, "You cannot watch this, it's too scary." So I got up and I hid behind the couch. And I watched it. And I remember specific images from it that terrified me for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And there was something that drew me about it. Like, ooh, like, I didn't think about other movies, except maybe like, what was that one with Big Bird? I was really into that. But I didn't think really about other movies, but these images haunted me.
Yeah,
And there's something fascinating about that. And then when I was 21, I finally got up the courage to watch it again. And I was like, this is bad. And it's not scary at all. But 5-year-old me, really found it scary. So I think that might have been the thing that, that created that mystique around horror movies for me.
I mean, that's the brilliant concept, I think, of that film and that series, is that even though I agree with you, not great movies, but latching on to that hook of you're not safe when you're sleeping.
Oh, yeah.
So that goes against kind of what we were saying before, like you were in a safe space and you could watch these, have these feelings, like Kyle was saying, with the catharsis, and then you could have that release. But in that film where, he comes to you in your dreams, also he preys upon children, right? Often or teenagers. So it's even your safe space has been taken away from you. I can see how that would be, incredibly frightening for a young child.
Yeah. Oh, I grew up in a household where there were a lot of regulations on the movies that were watched. But my parents held themselves to very high standards too, so it just wasn't around.
Okay.
So my earliest memory of horror things are I found some stamps at the post office that had pictures of the Universal monsters on them. And I asked that's my longest standing and biggest horror fandom is the Universal monsters.
Yeah.
So I asked my parents about them, and my dad kind of told me some stories about what was going on in the movies, but we didn't watch them at the time. So I kind of had a concept of some of the monsters, but I wasn't allowed to watch anything. This may or may not actually be my first experience, but the earliest memory with a film is Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, wow.
Which may not be horror, but it was very spooky. It was a lot darker than a lot of the other things I had seen.
Interesting.
And I was, for better or worse or whatever it says about me, I was very drawn to that. The aesthetic, and I was very much a goth kid in high school, and I was with the theater crowd, and so that's a dark musical. Yeah, we all bonded over that.
That's interesting, because to me, I'm like, that's for kids.
Right.
Yeah. Well, but I was, in high school when that came out.
I don't know, I love it. Like Jack Skellington I used to have a onesie, and I had, I love it. Yeah.
I do too. I still watch the movie every year, and I have action figures from it.
I watch it for Christmas and Halloween.
Yes,
because
that's a debate.
Of course.
Which one is
it's
it,
both.
Christmas or it's both.
About,
Everything.
I would say mine would be child's play. My mom used to only watch sci-fi.
Yeah.
So the Sci-Fi Channel. So we've watched horror movies, and I remember it was picture day, and she had me up because she was doing my hair, and I was watching Chucky, and it made me so afraid to go take a shower with a window. Ever since I seen that scene, I was like, my mom. Anytime there was a window in the shower area, I was like, my mom's gonna have to sit there with me. I refuse. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I woke up my dad screaming that night that I watched Nightmare on Elm Street, I was like, Freddy is going to come to the wall above my head.
Oh, no.
And he was like, I told you not to watch. He was so mad. Okay.
Yes, go ahead. I was going to say that I had a very different experience from Kyle, where I had sort of free range, just, wild ass parents as far as, like, hey, we're watching, Death Race 2000 and let's bring the kids, or Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, but as far as, and this may be up for debate for the panel, but the film that really kind of stuck with me, and whether this is a monster movie, is Jaws.
That is one of my topics.
Which came out in the late 70s, and it's so difficult, I think, because I teach movies as their effect on society, or a reflection in some ways, and also their context culturally, and pop culturally. And the moment of that movie coming out in the summer and really tapping into those fundamental fears we were kind of talking about before, of the thing that we can't quite see, or we don't quite understand. We don't know what their motivation is, other than that it seems like they want to, to hurt us or eat us, which is a basic human fear. So Jaws, when it came out, and when I saw it way too young, I was literally afraid to take a bath. Not even swim, which that was one thing, but like just water. I was terrified.
To this day,
I love the idea of the ocean, but you can have it. I don't want to be out there on it. And I surely am not scuba diving or anything like that either.
yeah. So my boyfriend is the same way. So he remembers Jaws, and it came out before we were born, but he saw it when he was quite young.
Yeah.
He still doesn't like to
77.
swim in swimming pools. And recently, actually last weekend, we showed it to all the kids and his grandkids. And he had been asking me for months if the kids could watch it, and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I finally said yes, but I was like, on the really bad scenes, you really need to cover the little one's eyes. Sure. And by the end of the movie, only one was still awake. But that's an interesting question. Like, when we get to the monster section, like, is the shark a monster, or is he a shark doing shark things?
Just doing shark things.
Is he a manifestation of what's his name's trauma from losing his buddies in the water? Because they got eaten in half. He got eaten in half. So that's an interesting question that I really want to explore. Is like, what is a monster?
If I can tell a story about Jaws before we move on, there was I'm so sorry to my friend who I'm about to embarrass here. I won't say a name, so it'll just be him who knows. But I have a friend, and he came here from China for his PhD. So we were working on our PhD together, and he wanted to learn all about American film. And so he was like, what are iconic American films? And we were going to see all of these re-releases in theaters. I love doing like retro release stuff. Yeah. I think it's super, super fun.
I agree.
And so one of the movies was Jaws. Jaws had an anniversary IMAX retro release
last summer, right? Or no, that was before, I guess. Yeah.
Right. It was a weird number. Yeah. It wasn't a nice round. It was like
50th this last summer. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, we were on 47 or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't a nice clean number, but they thought it was a good enough number to do the IMAX re-release. So I thought, I never saw this movie in theaters. I'm going to see it in theaters. I'm going to watch it on IMAX. And my friend asked to come see it with me because it's like classic American cinema, right?
Yeah.
So I was a little nervous that he would find parts of it hokey. I also love Jaws, and I teach with it. Is it also in your class?
I need to incorporate it.
Yeah, fair enough. But I use it in my intro to pop culture class to talk about fandom and marketing and fear of the unknown.
One of the first,
Yeah. And anyway, my friend and I are watching this, and I'm looking over while we're watching, and his hands are literally like gripping the sides of the seat once we get a few scenes in. And in the moment where Hooper is like scuba diving and we find the remains of the ship and like the skeleton pops out, my friend literally, like, I won't do it here so that I can't mess up the microphones, but he half stands up out of his seat.
Oh, he's levitating.
And then eases himself back down. So I have regularly been pleasantly surprised by like the continued power of this movie to affect people. And my students talk about it in class too, how it's like scarier than they expected it to
Yeah.
That's good.
The kids were scared, I mean, for the most part. So
And that
I
jump
think it does
scare happens
hold up.
early.
Yeah, it does.
be. Yeah. Cool.
So I want to ask a few like kind of lightning round questions where you just tell me like what you think about this. I want you to name an overrated horror movie. I already gave you mine. I already said Nightmare on Elm Street. I think it's maybe because the acting is so bad. But is there a horror movie that you're like, everybody needs to get over this movie? Do you have one?
I do.
What is
It's
it?
a franchise. And maybe it's because I'm not a fan of torture porn, but the Saw franchise.
Oh, God, yes, absolutely.
One was too much. And then just to keep doing it. So,
And
That means
Hostel,
That
yeah.
means you don't like Terrifier either.
no, of course
Yeah.
not. No.
That's not
no.
my thing either.
I mean, 7 as far as I will go.
Yeah.
With that kind of torture porn, but
Yeah.
that had a concept behind it. I think that really drove that movie. But yeah, that's something that's I mean, I haven't really thought a lot about it just because I don't like it, but I should think more about it. And I don't know what the attraction is.
Well,
in that case.
Sophie Gilbert writes about this in Girl on Girl a little bit. That era in the early 2000s where there was kind of this post-feminist
Yeah.
backlash against the 90s. There was a lot of torture porn. Hostel
Yep.
is the example she uses where they basically just take girls and torture them
Yeah.
to death. And it's kind of like,
Yeah.
okay.
Maybe that's why I'm turned off by it.
Yeah.
I also don't love torture porn. Terrifier was one of the ones that jumped
Yeah.
to mind for me. Friday the 13th is another one that I didn't love. I still kind of see the appeal for Nightmare on Elm Street, even though
Yeah.
it's very dated.
Campy.
Campy, yeah. I rewatched Friday the 13th this past October because my wife has never seen any of those kind of foundational 70s, 80s slasher movies,
yeah,
and we're just
slasher.
sort of systematically working through them. And she really liked Friday the 13th. And when I saw it again, I was like, this is not, there is no plot here. This is just
isn't.
an excuse to chop people up.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing. We barely even get into the mythology of the monster figure.
Yeah.
It's, I know they do that a little bit more later on in the franchise, but it was not super duper fun for me.
So along the same lines, before we start talking about kind of like horror and culture and monsters specifically, can you think of I'm just curious about this, a horror movie that you think is criminally underrated, that you're like, more people should know about this? And while you think about it, I'm going to tell you mine.
Okay.
And it is an Australian film from, I think, the early 2000s. And it's shot as a sort of mockumentary.
Oh.
And it's called Lake Mungo.
Huh.
Anybody seen it?
No.
Okay, well,
I
go
haven't-
watch
I haven't
it.
heard of it.
Yeah, it's very good.
Huh.
Can you think of one?
This I might come up with other things if I have longer to chew on it. The first thing that jumped to mind for me was Oddity, which was an independent horror film that came out a few years ago from Damien McCarthy. That's the like horror element of it is thinking about cursed items and how those affect people. But the bigger picture is like thematically is about women's agency and how men's violence creeps into women's lives.
Sounds right up my alley there.
Yeah.
In a similar fashion, I don't know that it's underrated, but it had its moment when it came out, but I don't know as many people talk about it as they should. But A24's The Witch,
Oh, yeah.
you know, it's been kind of overshadowed by other releases, Hereditary, Midsummer, etc. But The Witch just, I mean, even transcending the horror genre, does the thing that we want art to do. It creates a world that is believable, and then it has you inhabit this world where things happen in it that are just incredible. Plus, I love the feminine agency in that film as well. I love folk horror. I'm a big fan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And just to be able to feel like you can inhabit that world, and then what they do to you once they've successfully done I think it's chilling, but the ending is also sort of exhilarating.
Yes.
Again, like the end of Midsummer. But I just think that's just a great film that I think that even though it's not under the radar, I just wish people would keep talking about it, because I just think it's such an amazing film.
Okay, so we're going to take a break real quick and hear from one of our illustrious sponsors, and we'll be right back. Hi. Do you love the idea of getting a master's degree, but hate the idea of getting a specific master's degree? Have you ever sat at your laptop in bed at 1:32 a.m. thinking, I should really get a master's degree. I could earn more money. I could advance my career. I could learn new stuff. I could change careers. And you sit there scrolling through list after list of degrees going, no, 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 no. What? You're not alone. I've been there, and I finally found the degree that let me design my own degree. It's right here at UT Dallas, and it's called the Master of Arts in Interdisciplinary Studies. This is a choose-your-own-adventure graduate degree. For example, I was able to combine courses in humanities and creative writing with courses in marketing and entrepreneurship to create my own concentration in strategic communications. With the MAIS, you can literally create your own curriculum by combining graduate courses from any of the 7 schools at UT Dallas into a customized master's degree. So if you want to do something really niche, like become a medical illustrator or a museum curator, our faculty and advisors can help you create that specific program. Or maybe you want to learn more broadly, but you want to study a lot of different things, like art history and biology and theater and sociology. You can also do that. It's up to you. And honestly, shouldn't your education be up to you? The MAIS is one degree with infinite designs and endless possibilities leading to countless futures, one of which could be yours. So next time you're doom scrolling, hop over to utdallas.edu/MAIS, or if you're watching on YouTube, follow the link in the description box. I can tell you from experience, the MAIS can get you the graduate degree you've always imagined because you get to create it. And now back to the episode. fannISh 5 with you.
Yay.
Because Kyle's done it.
Hey.
So this is just a lightning round. Don't take it too seriously. Don't think too hard about it. And this is not specific to horror. This is just in general.
Gotcha.
You and all of your things about you.
Yay, finally.
Question number 1. What was your first fandom?
Oh, well, this is so cliche, but I can't say anything else because it's obviously Star Wars.
Oh my God.
'Cause
You
I
too?
grew up during that time, and it was just permeated everything. It has to be, of course, the original trilogy, 4, 5, and 6 episodes. So, yep, that was it. I know that's boring.
No, it had y'all in a chokehold.
It did. It
It
really
did.
did. There were really no other options. It just took over everything.
Well, it's kind of like what we were talking about earlier, where we just had fewer choices back then.
Absolutely.
Like you had on a Saturday morning, you had Saturday morning cartoons.
Up until
There were
noon.
10 of them, and you just
Yeah.
watched those.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
didn't go to streaming and choose from 1,000. This was what you had. At night, you watched the news with your parents, and then you watched Johnny Carson.
We had one television in our house.
We
most of
had
the
one
time I was growing
television,
up, so,
yeah. And then at 2 a.m., the TV played the Star Spangled Banner, and
Yep.
it turned off.
Static.
People think that I'm making that up when I
No.
tell my kids that. Like, that's not real. They literally think that I'm trolling them. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
The TV ran out of TV.
It ran on TV.
And it played the Star Spangled Banner, and then it turned
Yep.
off, and it was like you had to go to bed or read a book.
Yeah.
So anyway, okay, so number 2, what's your comfort media? Like if you just want to feel cozy and just read or watch or listen or whatever, play something and just
Oh.
like be chill and in your safe space, what do you do?
Comfort in my safe space. Mm-hmm. I like reality television.
Are you serious?
I teach it, so I have an excuse.
Yeah, you have an excuse. That's an excuse.
So, I mean, everything under the sun, 90 Day Fiancé, Bachelor, Love Island, Love is Blind, Married at First Sight, I mean, all the things.
Do you know the little Paul Thomas Anderson, Daniel Day-Lewis anecdote
No,
with
what?
reality TV? I think while they were filming Phantom Thread,
Oh,
Paul Thomas Anderson went to visit Daniel Day-Lewis in his hotel room, and he was just watching reality TV, and so
Daniel Day-Lewis was?
yeah.
Oh,
So Paul
Awesome.
Thomas Anderson
I'm
was
vindicated.
like, "This is not what I expected from you," but I guess that's his comfort media.
I mean, as I say in my classes, it's not the material necessarily, it's how you interact with it.
yeah.
If you watch or consume something critically,
I watch it like psychology.
yes,
It's,
exactly.
these people are are sitting in here 24 hours for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And you can see just the psychology of like the ages, and then you can see like man versus woman.
Yes.
You can see like it's like the Stanford prison experiment,
Yes.
but for love.
Yes.
And then you can see like right now the toxic thing between Sinister and Melanie.
Yes.
And like just like between a 30-year-old and a 22-year-old, you see that you can even do like Scorpios and the astrology signs and how they interact with each other.
But it's fixed because they pick the weirdest dumb idiots.
And it's not really reality.
And there's no love on that island.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's also like again like the Stanford prison experience. It's like they're purposely changing it. Like they're in a whole experiment, and they're picking it like scientists. Even though they're media, but they're like scientists, and they're making certain things happen. You have to kiss this one person. But now they're also changing the perspective of just society in its whole. So now we're like, is what we're seeing actually real? And then now you have to
You have sexuality issues, feminism, racism, cultural differences.
Yes, I watch reality TV for that reason.
You have a villain like last year with Huda. You know,
She is a villain though.
She is.
This is just because this is an educational podcast too, right? We're using the term science loosely. If someone did a peer-reviewed study, it would be very different than reality TV.
So we can't dunk on reality television if we're not going to dunk on horror, because I think they pull from some similar areas. But again, it's just how you consume it, you know. And it sounds like Shania and I consume it in a similar way, where, you know, you sort of interact with it and reflect on it. And I think, and I tell this my students in my class, you know, is if you want like real-time boots on the ground, like reflection of the influence of relationships, is watch reality television. But you can immediately see people have this conversation about like, well, she should have disclosed this, or he shouldn't have said that, or all these things that are expectations of their partners that are being played out. Now, in a really strange way, because the producers are so manipulative, and some people claim that it's scripted, and of course we have evidence that a lot of it is, or put in situations, or, you know, but that's a long answer of sort of my comfort. Isn't that strange?
I think whenever I've tried to watch it, I just find the people so unlikable.
Oh, that's true.
It's just so hard for me to get the slightest bit invested in what happens to them. I'm like, you're all idiots and jerks.
That's part of that's too, the sort of schadenfreude, right?
You see like media literacy right now, you can see that play out right now in Love Island.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
There's a chapter in Melissa Click's book on anti-fandom about reality TV, and just people hate watching. They love watching the shows, but it's that might not be exactly the right word, because they don't hate the shows, but they think the people are so horrible. You feel good about yourself watching these people.
That's true. I mean, that's why people watched Hoarders for a long time.
Oh my God, Hoarders made me feel so clean.
Right.
And even now, when I watch like Police Body Cam, I'm like, I am so smart. I'm so attractive. My problems are no big deal.
That's my other comfort is body cam.
Me too. I love it. I'm like, what are these idiots doing? The only reality TV that I like besides body cam, like true crime, is like anything where Gordon Ramsay yells at people. I will watch that.
Absolutely.
There's a thing, British people yelling at us. Americans, we have a bottomless appetite for that.
We love it. It's in our
Simon
blood.
Cowell.
Okay, here's number 3 of the fannISh 5. If you could spend a day inside any fictional world, what would it be?
Oh, a day in a fictional world? I think Narnia would be pretty cool.
Ooh.
Lots of animals. It's, you know, there's a good versus bad thing going on, of course. Meeting Aslan. I don't know. That's the one that just popped in my head. If I thought about it more, I might say something.
Mine is Middle Earth.
Middle Earth, yes, that's a great one too.
Yeah. I want to go to Rivendell.
And adjacent, yes.
Okay.
I don't like orcs though.
Okay. What is a fandom that you really just you don't get it?
Oh.
It could be that you don't get why people like this thing, or it could be that you just think the fans are kind of terrible.
Are terrible? Oh no.
Yeah.
So I have to say I don't like it, and I think it's
No, either way. Either way. Like it could
or
be
I don't
either
understand
one.
it.
Like for me, even before she went crazy, I was like, I don't like Nicki Minaj fans. They're just terrible.
No, it's pure social relationship. That's
Running the risk of offending some of our fans. I think it's My Little Pony, and
Okay, the bronies.
The bronies.
I can get it on a certain level. Yeah, but it's the adult, like the adult male fans. I
Yeah,
think.
the bronies.
Yeah, the
I don't get it
I said
either.
that earlier.
Yeah. Oh, you did? Okay.
Mhm.
All
No,
right.
but it's good. 'Cause
Sorry,
I'm not gonna
bronies.
read.
I mean,
I'm not judging them.
No,
They
I
can
don't
do what
judge
they
you. I
want.
just don't get
I
it.
just personally don't get
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
do you, boo.
This is a growing, like, academic sub area too. Like in fandom, people are like scholars are really invested in this phenomenon. I have seen so many new articles about bronies the
Really?
last 2 years.
Really?
Wow.
Recently?
Yeah.
This has been
It's
going
still
on for
going
a
on?
while.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's a while.
Dang.
Yeah.
Nobody
Okay.
needs to be studied.
It does need to be
does.
studied. Okay, maybe we'll figure it out. So, last question.
Yes.
What has been your cringiest moment as a fan?
Oh, even as a human being. It's getting dark. My
I mean-
cringiest moment as a fan? Okay,
Yeah.
I got this.
Okay.
I happened to have met, when in my defense, I was still a teenager. I met Mick Jagger in a Chinese restaurant.
Shut up.
What?
I was working in a Chinese restaurant. This was in Greenville, Texas, in the late 80s.
Was he lost?
Well, remember he was married to Jerry.
She's from Mesquite,
He's from Mesquite.
where my mother is from.
And they have land out in East Texas.
Oh wow.
And I guess he was visiting,
Oh.
and he was at this like podunk country, like in Greenville, not a big place at all in East Texas, Chinese restaurant. I was working there, and no one recognized him. He was like waiting for a table. In fact, they were gonna have a little special room for him to give him some privacy. I think they also asked for it, and so I just kind of went over there and I did the thing that every fan does, like, "Hey, you're great." And of course, I didn't appreciate. He was like, "Yeah, we're okay, later or something." But what worked out for them is that none of the other servers knew who they were, so they got like a regular experience.
Except for you.
Except for me, and then the word started to spread, and I still have a placemat that has his signature on it.
What year was that?
I mean, again, I think it was like 89 or 90 or something like that, and it just says "Good luck." It
So,
should have
wow.
just said like "Leave me the F alone."
That's when Jerry Hall was in Batman.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right.
There you go.
Wow.
So that was my cringiest moment.
That's
I've done
cringy.
better since, having met other people. Jason Momoa, well, he was really lovely.
Really?
He's such a. I mean, first of all, he's
Your
like
face.
I like you.
he
so
is
much.
like, and I can say this as a proud straight man, like one of the more gorgeous
Yeah.
human beings. He's so nice. He smells good. He's very friendly. Just a great dude. Yeah.
Did
I
you meet
enjoyed
at a convention?
Yeah. Fan Fest.
Oh
In Dallas.
I
Yeah.
want to go.
Yeah.
I have missed that one every year that I have lived here, mostly because I have worked at ACON, which was taking place at the same time.
Akon.
And so I haven't done ACON the last couple of years, but just expenses, man. But
Yeah, that's a
Planning.
thing.
Being a
Planning to do
fan is
It's
not
expensive.
cheap. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not cheap.
This is a cosplayer, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for watching episode 5 of fannISh, a fan studies podcast. We'll see you on the next one.